You folks may recall the name Stephanie Turner. She's the female fencer who took a knee rather than fence against a male opponent. Well, she's received an award for taking the knee, for taking a stand. And Wagner College, where the transgender athlete she competed against attends school, Wagner College on Staten Island, New York, confirming that transgender fencer at the center of the controversy is no longer on the women's team. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach me, and we'll get back to that, 800-848-9222. President Trump pauses tariff hikes for 90 days, a 90-day pause against most countries, but hikes China's rate to 125%. And so I want to stop right now for 1 second. And the rap group Run DMC made a song, and the song went like this: "Shut up, you talk too much." That applies to Meghan Markle. Meghan, I hope you are getting the message. I hope that you can hear this. Meghan Markle, what are your qualifications to enter this discussion? And she is suggesting, Harry's wife, yes, that Meghan Markle, that the U.S. is headed for a recession as she talks about the impact to her business. Meghan Markle. So, one, self-importance. Meghan Markle, nobody cares. With all due respect, no one cares what you have to say. 1. 2, Meghan Markle, you're barely tolerated in this country. In fact, most people don't like you. I'm sorry. 3, your husband barely tolerates you. How dare you enter this situation like you're a player in this, commenting on a recession directed at President Trump when he attended the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. Meghan Markle, I'll wait while you tell us your qualifications. I'm waiting to hear those qualifications, Meghan. As Run DMC said, shut up. You talk too much. 800-848-9222. So prior to this pause, and we're about to begin with your telephone calls, prior to this pause, the president announcing publicly, and these are his words, not mine, that countries are lining up to reach a deal with him to, quote, kiss his ass.
Because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir.
The President of the United States, Jonas, I think it bears repeating that one more time. This was a speech that the president made earlier this week, but he's known to not mince words. He's not a traditional politician. The President of the United States in his own words.
Because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir.
And so this is all very interesting, how this is going to play out. We're about to begin with your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Unfortunately, here we go again as it relates to migrants and murders. Here we go again. And with a child. A 13-year-old boy raped and murdered in Los Angeles. A boy this time, raped and murdered. And police have arrested in Los Angeles an illegal alien from El Salvador for the crime. And apparently the person that did this, that's been charged, was the boy's soccer coach.
This is a message for mothers to trust no one with your children. Moments after the district attorney announced he was charging her son's soccer coach with his murder, Oscar Hernandez's mother said she wants Mario Garcia Aquino to face
la pena máxima. Eso es lo que yo.
Incluso muerte.
Sí.
The maximum penalty, including death, yes. DA Nathan Hochman said the 13-year-old was killed in Lancaster on March 28th and said his 43-year-old soccer coach did it. Search teams found the boy's body off the side of a road in Oxnard last Wednesday. Hernandez's family says they reported him missing after they lost touch with him when he took a train from Sun Valley to meet the coach in Lancaster, who was then supposed to drive the boy home. The DA said they are not yet clear on how Hernandez was killed, but the charges include a special circumstance of murder during the commission or attempted commission of a lewd act with a child. Hochman recently said he'd allow prosecutors to seek the death penalty, and this could be one of those instances.
And so, again, we're going down this road where a minor has been killed allegedly by a migrant, this time a 13-year-old boy. The person charged his soccer coach, and the advice from the mother, and it's the advice I follow with my own kids. I don't play that. Uncles, cousins, whatever, coaches, those are the ones that I watch the most. Trust no one with your children. Bottom line. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality of the world. So we see all of your telephone calls coming in, and we're about to begin with them. And I'm going to get to the Stephanie Turner situation, the fencer, the athlete that she was up against, who last year competed on the boys' team, the men's team, and came in 29th place, decided that he wants to be a woman. And the next year, this year, he's on the women's team. And now, I guess apparently because of the Trump administration cracking down on this nonsense, now all of a sudden, Wagner College of Staten Island says that this transgender athlete is no longer on the fencing team and that the person does not want to talk to the media. And before we begin with your telephone calls, we see them from Ramsey in New Jersey, Suffolk County, all over Bayonne. We're going to begin with them momentarily, but Kevin O'Leary, who's become very much so a voice of reason, Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, who appears on CNN and other outlets, he says as far as he's concerned, as someone who does business in China, he says in China they don't play fair, and if it was up to him, it would be a 400% tariff.
104% tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that look like?
I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough.
Kevin O'Leary, and we see your calls, but we're going to take you live right now to the White House where the president is answering questions on this 90-day tariff pause.
$1 billion, not million. You know, you'd say million would be the right number. It's not $200 to $300 billion. $1 billion. Think of that. $300 billion. If you look at Apple, Apple is going to spend $500 billion building a plant. They wouldn't be doing that if I didn't do this. They'd just keep building them in China. And that's unsustainable. It's not a pleasant thing to do, but I appreciate the question. And, you know, interestingly, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts, believe me.
Is it the bond markets that persuaded you to reverse course?
I was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had. Well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day. We had Liberation Day in America. We were liberated from all of the horrible deals that were made, all of the horrible trade deals that were made. And I was helped by people just like this, senator, congressman, and friends, right? And we had great help in the Senate. Our Republican senators have been amazing. They stood tall. And likewise in the House. And John Thune has done an amazing job. Barrasso has done an amazing job. I can't think of a senator, really. We had tremendous support. We got a bill passed the other day with almost unanimous support in the Senate. And I think we're going to get that in the House, too. And I have to tell you that Mike Johnson is a great speaker. He's done a fantastic job. We had a majority of 1. Now we have a majority of 7. And you don't realize how big 7 is until you have a majority of 1. 7 sounds like so much. But we're doing well. But Mike Johnson and John Thune have done a really great job.
Mr. President, was there anyone who influenced your decision? Did you speak with anyone, Jamie Dimon? Did you speak with anyone?
Well, I watched Jamie Dimon on Maria Bartiromo's show this morning, and he was very good. He said that, actually made the statement to effect that something had to be done with the tariffs and trade. He said that. He said, look, at some point, but he said something has to be done with tariffs and trade. He understood it. He's very smart and very genius financially. He's done a fantastic job at the bank. And he knows that. Everybody knows that. Anybody that's even a little bit smart knows it. It wasn't sustainable what was happening. Somebody had to pull the trigger. I was willing to pull the trigger. This should have been done long ago. Just like Biden should have stopped the border long ago. I mean, allowed 21 million people.
And on both points, the president of the United States is correct. You can't deny this. Dealing with this tariff situation is something that should have occurred many, many years ago. It should not be forced for this president to have to deal with it so early on in his tenure. That issue as well as the border. Look at then, look at now. Under President Biden, look at what was happening at the border. Look at how it's shut down now. All it takes is a will, the will of the president of the United States. Let's go to Tony, Suffolk County, line 3. What's on your mind, Tony?
Hey, Dominic. I just really wanted to say thank you. Thanks for pointing all this stuff out. And I listen to you often, and just if I call to agree with something, it's just like Captain Obvious. You're on the money with everything, and we appreciate you at this part of the island. Keep up the good work, please. Well,
that's very kind of you to say, Tony. Thank you very much. I want you to do me a favor and have a beautiful day. So, folks,
you too, sir.
Thank you. Sometimes when I give you information, it may not be information that you want to hear, but I'm always going to give it to you straight. Fastball, 90 miles an hour, right down the middle of the plate. Now, you don't like it, that's on you, but it's the truth. I'm always going to give you the truth. And at the end of the day, whether you like him or you love him, this man or hate him is going to go down, that is President Trump, as one of the greatest presidents in American history. You just watch. We are coming right back.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And the situation of the fencer who refused to compete against a male, a transgender woman, and took a knee. Sometimes you can change the world. In this case, by doing exactly that, taking a knee. I'm referring to Stephanie Turner. We'll get to that in just 1 second. But I have to go back to what I said at the top of the show. I really try. I often try my best to not get personal. Meghan Markle. How dare you? Can you spell the word recession, Meghan Markle? Can you? Do you know what it means? Yeah, sure, it's easy to say it. Meghan Markle, on your best day, you were a B-level actress. On your best day. Your claim to fame is that you married a prince. In other words, you lucked out. Shut up! As Run DMC says, shut up, you talk too much, you're barely liked in America, you can't go to England, why don't you raise your children, stay out of politics, and shut up. Stop drinking that Kool-Aid that you could run for president. And if that's the case, the rest of us can be the Pope. Stop with the nonsense. Nobody cares that you're threatening of a recession. Okay, enough of Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, don't forget You lucked up and married a prince. That's it. That's your claim to fame in life. And based on reports, that marriage is on shaky ground. So Meghan Markle, you may want to shut up. Play the Run DMC song. Hit it over and over. Shut up. You talk too much. You need to do that, Meghan Markle. Really. Now, I know you and the president don't like each other. The president disses you every chance he gets. But you playing with grown folks' business now. You need to shut up, Meghan Markle. Okay, Stephanie Turner. And wait till you hear what they're doing in Colorado on the transgender issue. You cannot make this stuff up. We see all of your calls from Virginia to New Jersey to Putnam County. We're going to get to as many calls as we can in just a minute. But the female fencer who took a knee rather than fence against her male opponent, Stephanie Turner. She just received an award for taking a stand. And now Wagner College of Staten Island, they are running from this transgender athlete as fast as can be. And so how did this happen in Maryland? This is where the incident occurred. And that's because the transgender woman competes independently in fencing tournaments organized by USA Fencing, who, let's not forget, they sided with the transgender athlete and gave Stephanie Turner the black card because she took a knee. So Wagner College, right there in Staten Island, New York, when asked why the transgender woman no longer competes on the women's fencing team, a spokesman said, quote, "We are in full compliance with NCAA and NEC rules and regulations. The fencer is not a member of our fencing team, and that the transgender athlete is not doing interviews with the press." So what brought that all about? The president of the United States. Because these colleges know now you act up, the president is going to act up. You allow these animal pro-Palestinian protesters to terrorize Jewish students and be against Israel. You permit that, you act up, the president's going to act up. And how is the president going to act up? Yank, snatching millions of dollars of money that you desperately need. And at the end of the day, where they say money walks and other thing talks, right? So that's what we're dealing with. Now, Stephanie Turner, the fencer, this is what she said to Fox News when this originally happened, in her own words.
Part of my pre-competition ritual is to check the online registration to see who is going to be there and just double check my check-in times. And on the registration list, I saw Redmond Sullivan's name listed there. And I recognized this individual from a previous Redux article that had been written saying that this person was a man who had previously competed on the men's team at Wagner and was now competing as a woman within the USFA. So from that point, I just got really disappointed with the USFA and with this tournament, and I just felt like at a loss. I'd already committed so much money to it and training hours, and I was literally looking forward to this. I do this tournament every year.
And so what you need to do now, young lady, is sue and make the NCAA pay for their wokeism. Make them pay where it hurts. She continued with her interview with the Fox News channel.
There's nothing for me and there's everything for him, because I have no choice as a woman, as a female, in where I compete. I am a woman, and I have an athletic disadvantage to men, so I compete in the women's division, which is where I rightfully am. But he has been given this opportunity to fence in the women's division, and he can compete. He can easily compete in the men's division. He could also compete at mixed events in local tournaments if he wants. There is a place for him. So the idea that they're creating, they're expanding the women's is just essentially making it an open tournament that can include men, and it ends up hurting me and other girls.
And she has since received an award, and this young lady deserves a medal for doing the right thing. She took a knee. She took a stand at her own expense, spending her own money. It was unfair for her to be in that fencing tournament, and she's up there against a man who apparently is playing the game. 1 minute I'm transgender, next minute I'm a man, next minute I'm a cat, next minute I'm a parakeet. Which one are you? We've got to stop this nonsense, because it does it does center, it is borderline mental illness. Now, if you've completed the process like Francine in Brooklyn that calls the pro, that's different. If you've gone all the way. But if you just want to dress up like a woman and now you want the rest of us to call you Roxanne, that is ridiculous. And then the next day you're Charlie. And then the next day you're Roxanne. And then the next day you're Bob the Parakeet. Give me a break. Folks, we see all your calls. In a minute, I'm going to Marion in Virginia. Democrats in Colorado. Listen to what these rocket scientists are doing. They're pushing through a radical transgender bill that would allow the courts to take children away from their parents who misgender or dead name their children. I don't even know. They're going to explain this in the report. I don't even know, Jonas, what dead name means. This report also from Fox News.
This Colorado House bill, if signed into law as written, would mean if a parent misgenders their child, meaning refers to them by their gender at birth or dead names, calling them by their old name, it could be considered a form of coercive control, and that could impact custody decisions. From the bill summary, quote, a court shall consider reports of coercive control when determining the allocation of parental responsibilities in accordance with the best interests of the child. One of the sponsors of this bill says this is about protecting the child's best interests and the rights of parents who support the child's gender identity. House Republicans in the minority here call it misguided and a threat to parental rights.
I believe it's misguided. It fundamentally oversteps the proper role of government. It threatens parental rights. It raises serious constitutional issues. This is not protecting children. It's weaponizing the courts against parents.
And this is how a Democratic lawmaker responded to a complaint that family rights groups not associated with LGBTQ rights were not given more of a say.
We heard from groups that called trans community members groomers and pedophiles. I will call those groups hateful. I will compare that to saying it's like asking someone working on civil rights legislation to consult with white supremacist groups.
This bill now goes to the state Senate before heading to Colorado Governor Jared Polis's desk.
So now I know what dead name means. If my daughter comes to me and she says, Dad, I'm no longer Courtney, I'm Bob, and I say, no, you're Courtney, that means I've called you by your quote-unquote dead name. This is ridiculous, folks. This needs to be in the same category with Meghan Markle. Maybe all of you can live together. Let's go to your telephone calls. Marianne, line 3, Virginia. What's on your mind, Marianne?
Good afternoon, Dominic. I listen to your show every day from Virginia. I love it. Thank God you're on the air.
Hey, Marianne, wait. What's the weather like today in Virginia?
It's about 60 degrees, sunny, nice day.
Okay, nice day. We'll take it. Go right ahead, Marianne.
Okay. I wanted to talk about the tariffs.
Go for it.
I'm a born and raised New Yorker. 30 years ago, I worked for an infant accessory manufacturer in the garment center, and I had the chance to go overseas to do resource and development. I was over in Asia for 3 weeks and walked through factories that were horrific. People were making no money. They were making like $1.75 a day on product that was being shipped back to all the major retailers in the United States. And the company I worked for, as we were walking through these factories in China and Bangkok, Thailand, I said, like, we're victimizing these people. We had the Triangle Factory Fire was the kickoff of the labor movement in New York City. I said, like, how can this be going on? We're not making, like, you're making plenty of money, but we could be making this in the United States. And they just kind of poo-pooed my comments. But I'm a high school graduate. I was 26 years old when I got to go on that trip. And I came home and I said to my mother, why aren't we making these things here? But that's the thing that people don't understand. This whole thing started decades ago. There's an excellent documentary that talks about the demise of the garment center. It came out by HBO. I don't want to promote it, but it said how everything went overseas. We don't make anything, and it's common sense. To be a strong nation, you must make your own goods. It's very simple. I don't know why people don't understand that.
And you're making a whole lot of sense, Marianne. I appreciate the call from Virginia. We want you to have a great afternoon. Thank you for enlightening us to the process. So you went to China and you were 26 years old.
Yes, high school graduate from Queens.
Wow. And what was that, before I let you go, what was that experience like?
Well, when I came home and back through Kennedy, I said I'll never complain again about my little basement apartment on Woodhaven Boulevard. I'm a very lucky girl.
Wow. Marion, thank you. You know, I had a similar experience after covering the presidential race in 1988. I'm straight out of graduate school, and I'm so tired because we're working 20 hours a day, flying from 3 to 4 states a day. And when this may sound corny, Marion, but when I finally got 2 days off, my bosses said I can get off the campaign trail for 2 days. And the plane landed at Newark Airport. And once I got on the ground at Newark, I kissed the ground because I was so glad to be back home. And
It's true.
You know, and my daughter was an infant. And you know, my wife, you know, you got what she calls it, making the donuts. Like, so when I go to work, my wife says, "Time to make the donuts." And so now that corny slogan that sticks in my head every time I got to go to work. And so you know, my wife wanted me to go make the donuts, right? But then you're on the road. So, and then she was complaining that I was on the campaign trail, and at, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I happened to be in the Persian Gulf. And my daughter was 3 months old. So the point of the story, Marion, as I let you go, folks, if you want to make it in this business, in my business, you can make it. But if you think you're going to come in on that star stuff, good luck with that. You are going to put in your dues. You are going to work hard. Your family is going to have to sacrifice for you to be able to do it. Thank you, Marion. You were just wonderful. Yes. Let's go to Jim, Long Island, line 2. Jim, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, thanks for taking my call. I got 2 quick trans stories that
okay, just get to it. Jim, just get to it, man. I'm looking at the clock. Okay, you don't have to set it up.
Girls soccer gold 10, 15 years ago, they played a high school soccer team, JV. Guess what the score was?
I don't know, but Jim, but you got to speed up the story a little bit. Okay, go ahead. 7-1, okay.
I played basketball at Marquette in the 60s. We had a 6'3" center.
Jim, the stories are taking too long. You got to get to the point.
When a person who's 6'3", 210 decides to join the WNBA, that's the end of the WNBA. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. It's going to happen. Someone's going to say I'm a woman, show up at practice. It's going to be a big legal deal. I don't know what the WNBA will do. I don't know. I really don't know.
That's a great point, Jim, because Hollywood has already done exactly that. It's a movie called Joanna Man, in which a bad boy athlete. I got to move on, Jim, because I got to take a break. Thank you. Bad boy athlete gets kicked out of the NBA, decides to dress as a woman, and becomes a rock star in the WNBA. So it's already happened. We're going to take a break. We're coming right back with more of your telephone calls.